Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Elijah here, and as you can tell from the title of the video, today is going to be a boxing video. So we are going to be going through some of the most darkest cases in boxing, and as the video continues, the cases are going to get darker and darker. So without further ado anyway, let's get straight to it. So the first boxer that we're going to be talking about is Oscar De La Hoya. Often referred to as the Golden Boy, is one of the most iconic figures in the history of boxing. Born on February 4th, 1973 in East Los Angeles, California, De La Hoya's life and career have transcended the sport, leaving an indelible mark on the world of boxing and beyond. De La Hoya has won 11 world titles over the course of his career and quickly became one of the most exciting and marketable fighters in the sport. And over the course of his career, he won 10 world titles in 6 different weight classes, ranging from super featherweight to middleweight. Some of De La Hoya's most memorable fights include his battles against boxing legends like Pernell Whitaker, Shane Mosley, Felix Trinidad, and Bernard Hopkins. In 2007, a series of compromising photos surfaced online showing a man who appeared to be Oscar De La Hoya. At first, De La Hoya and his representatives strongly denied that the person in the photos was him. He claimed that the images were fake and that the images were digitally altered, which is cap. However, by 2011, De La Hoya had grown tired of the lies. He admitted that the man in the drag photos was indeed him. And in his interview with Shannon Sharp, he would go on to say that he was extremely drugged up when taking those photos.
You was talking about?
Oh, I was drugged up. Yeah, I was drugged up. I didn't even know it.
You didn't know you had put the pantyhose on?
No. They set me up, but it's okay. It happened. So what?
Now, I know Oscar De La Hoya ain't evil, but what was done to him was really messed up and evil. That's why I decided to include him in this list. But when it comes to the other boxers, however, I must not lie, they are Satan's strongest soldiers. I'm not going to cap. Alright, cool. So the next fight that we're going to be talking about is Carlos Monzon. Carlos Monzon was an Argentine professional boxer who held the undisputed World Middleweight Championship for 7 years. He successfully defended his title 14 times against 11 different fighters and is widely regarded as one of the best middleweights in history. With a record of 87 wins, 9 draws and 3 losses, Monzon was well known for his punching power and unwavering work ethic. The toughest fight he endured was the one won against his own violent personality outside the ring. His violent tendencies and inability to control his emotions helped him greatly as a boxer. However, it led to a number of issues in his personal life. Monzon had his first amateur fight on October 2nd, 1959. His first fight ended in a draw, but 3 years later, he had an amateur record of 73 wins, 6 draws and 8 losses. And in his very first professional bout, which was held on the 6th of February 1963, he knocked out his opponent in the second round. Monzon's boxing style was a combination of power, precision, and an almost impenetrable defense. Standing at 5'11" with a reach of 76 inches, his right hand was particularly feared, as he possessed an uncanny ability to deliver knockout blows with remarkable timing. With his unrelenting jabs and devastating combination, he was a master at managing the tempo of a fight and wearing down his opponents. Monzon's career took off when he defeated Nino Benevito I know I butchered his name, so allow me, in a spectacular knockout win to win the 1917 World Middleweight Championship. And he reigned as undisputed middleweight champion for 7 years. During his career, Monzon successfully defended his title 14 times, defeating top contenders like Emil Griffin, Benny Briscoe and Rodrigo Valdez. While still a champion, a darker side of Monzon began to arise. He was abusive to almost every woman who was romantically involved with. In 1973, Monzon was shot in the leg by his then wife for 11 years, Mercedes Beatriz Garcia, with whom he had a daughter and 2 sons. The shooting required 7 hours of surgery to remove the bullet from Monzon's leg. He began a very publicized romance with Susana Glimenez. Bear in mind that he was still married at the time. Monzon would be repeatedly detained by the police, and his girlfriend at the time, Susana Jimenez, began wearing sunglasses more often, presumably to hide her bruises. And many times paparazzi had to be hospitalized from the beatings suffered at the hands of Monzon, who had unpredictable violent outbursts. And it only gets worse from here. In 1979, he met Uruguayan model Alicia Munez, with whom he had an on and off relationship with for many years. They eventually got married and had a son together. And why you'd want to have a son with that demon, I will never know. Monzon's violent behavior still continued, and on Valentine's Day, Monzon's personal life took a dark turn when he was involved with the death of his wife, Alicia Munez. The couple had a tumultuous and often violent relationship, marked by frequent arguments and physical altercations. And on that tragic day, Monzon and Munez were at their vacation home in Mar de la Plata, Argentina, when an argument between them escalated. According to the investigation after this incident, he strangled her into unconsciousness, picked her up and pushed her off the second floor balcony, killing her, during which he followed her in the fall, injuring his shoulder. During the trial, it was revealed that Monzon had a history of domestic violence, and the case attracted widespread attention in Argentina. And despite his claims that the incident was an accident, the evidence presented in court led to his conviction. And in 1989, Carlos Monzon was sentenced to 11 years in prison for the murder of Alicia Munez. And the fact that he only got 11 years, is crazy to me, because you gotta really deep it. He took someone's life, you gotta really understand what that means to take someone's life. This ain't GTA where you just respawn, they're never going to come back. Especially given his past history as well. The fact that he got such a light sentence is mad. The legacy of Monzon is a complex one. He is considered one of the greatest middleweight boxing champions of all time, but his violent actions and Alicia Munez's untimely death have permanently damaged his reputation. The event acts as a somber reminder of the negative aspects of his life that exists outside of the ring. Cool. So the next boxer that we're going to talk about is Edwin Valero. Edwin Valero was a Venezuelan professional boxer who competed from 2002 to 2010. He was an undefeated former world champion in 2 weight classes, having held the WBA super featherweight title from 2006 to 2008 and the WBC lightweight title from 2009 to 2010. A southpaw known for his aggressive fighting style and exceptional punching power, Valero remains the only champion in WBC history to win every fight in his career by knockout. Born into the impoverished streets of Valencia, Valero was seen as an outcast from the other kids his age, where play fighting would turn into something much more serious. Eventually, his temper was channeled into boxing at the age of 12. By the age of 12, Valero had won multiple amateur titles, setting the stage for what would become an extraordinary professional career. Valero turned professional in 2002 and quickly gained a reputation as a fearsome puncher. On February 25th, 2006, Valero set a new world record by winning his first 18 fights as a professional by first round knockout. On August 5th, 2006, Valero took on WBA super featherweight champion Vicente Mosquera in an attempt to win a world title for the first time. Valero began the fight, knocking the champion down twice in the first round, in what would turn out to be the toughest fight between the two boxers. However, Mosquera recovered and in the third round responded by knocking Valero down, which was to be Valero's only knockdown in his career. 2 minutes into the 10th round, the referee decided to stop the fight, crowning the 24-year-old Valero as the winner. Despite his success, Valero's life outside the ring was very chaotic. Reports of erratic behavior, substance abuse, and domestic violence began to surface. Valero's struggles with alcohol and drugs were well known, and his volatile temper often led to confrontations, both with the law and those closest to him. But the drama wouldn't stop there, because on the 25th of March 2010, Valero was accused of assault, this time by his wife, who was sent to the hospital for bruises and a damaged lung. Valero denied any wrongdoing, stating his wife stumbled from a stairway, but investigators doubted him. His wife told authorities that his injuries were caused by an accident on some stairs, despite the fact that she had been treated for similar injuries twice before at the hospital. Tragically, on April 18th, 2010, Jennifer was found dead in her hotel room in Valencia, Venezuela, with multiple stab wounds. And the craziest thing is, her husband did it. Valero would confess to the crime and was taken to jail. In his jail cell, Valero would commit, you know that word. I'm not going to say it because of YouTube, but you know that word. And was pronounced legally dead at 1:30 a.m. Valero's career was marked by incredible achievements, but was ultimately overshadowed by his personal struggles. The next boxer that we're going to talk about is James Butler Jr. Once a bright, young, light heavyweight boxer, James Butler Jr. became infamous not for his accomplishments in the ring, but the shocking and violent act that would overshadow his career, that would lead to his tragic downfall. Born on December 18th, 1972 in Harlem, New York, James Butler Jr. grew up in an environment where sports, particularly boxing, provided a way out of the challenges of the inner city. Butler's natural talent for boxing was evident from a young age. As he developed his skills, he quickly gained a reputation as a fighter to watch. Butler lived with his mother, Velva Gatson, and brother Aaron in New York after his father abandoned him. James's family had a difficult life without much money. Velva was very strict with her sons, molding them to be strong. Butler loved boxing and decided to pursue the career despite his mother's approval. He began boxing as an amateur before turning pro. James won the most sought after amateur boxing title, the Golden Gloves, in 1992 and 1995. James also won the United States Boxing Association Super Middleweight title in 1999. His friend Sam Kellerman, who is the brother of Max Kellerman from First Take, believed in his abilities and helped him pursue his dream. Sam Kellerman is someone who's going to be someone who's very important in this story, so make sure you remember him. But Butler's career took a different turn after he sucker punched an opponent after the fact. Richard Grant was announced the winner, and Butler was extremely pissed off about the decision. And Grant then made his way over to congratulate Butler for his effort, but Butler sucker punched him with a right hook that dropped him to the floor. Richard Grant suffered a dislocated jaw and a lacerated tongue. Butler would eventually be convicted of assault and spent 4 months in Rikers Island. After the sucker punch as well, Butler was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Butler would not box again for the next 3 years following his assault. When he came back, he lost twice in 4 fights as a light heavyweight. The demons that may have contributed to his violent outbursts in 2001 seemed to haunt him even more. Without the structure and discipline that boxing had provided, Butler's life began to unravel. The final tragic chapter in Butler's story came on October 12, 2004, when he was arrested for the brutal murder of Sam Kellerman. Kellerman had reportedly allowed Butler to stay at his Los Angeles home apartment as a favor to a friend. However, in a fit of rage, Butler bludgeoned Kellerman to death with a hammer, and then set the apartment on fire in an attempt to cover up the crime. On July 8th, 2005, a Los Angeles judge ruled there was sufficient evidence for Butler to stand on trial for charges of murder and arson. And on April 5th, 2006, Butler was sentenced to 29 years and 4 months in prison. Prosecutors speculated Butler was having relationship issues while also struggling to revive his boxing career. And when Kellerman asked Butler to move out, a disagreement ensued on how long Butler could stay, which made him want to pick up the hammer and kill Kellerman. James's career, once full of potential, was ultimately destroyed by his inability to control his emotions and impulses. So the last boxer that we are going to talk about is Joel Scott. Now this case is crazy, I can't lie. This is the worst case of them all. This guy deserves the death penalty, man. He makes King Von look like Nelson Mandela. That's how bad of a person this guy is. Joel Scott is a former professional boxer who is serving life in prison for RA, and murder. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches tall with a reach of 81 inches, His raw power made him a formidable opponent in the ring. Scott turned professional in 1995 and his career took off with an impressive streak of victories, while winning his first 18 fights, with 17 of them being by knockout. However, his life outside of the ring was tumultuous. With frequent run-ins with the law, these legal troubles included charges of assault, drug possession, and domestic violence. Despite his potential, Scott's inability to control his personal life began to affect his boxing career. Scott was also implicated in a 1995 hit and run that left a 4-year-old in a coma. And it doesn't stop there as well, because Joel Scott served prison time in sexual relations with a year-old. I'm not going to say it because of YouTube, but I hope you can get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And the thing is, you'd think it stops there, but it doesn't, because in 2004, Joel was found guilty of killing a 59-year-old woman by beating and sexually abusing her. Joel was eventually taken to court, where he was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. I told you guys, this case is extremely messed up. If you guys managed to make it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you so much. I really do love you guys, man. Now, usually I like to end off my videos with my outro music here, but today, nah, after everything we talked about, yeah, I am not ending my video like that, fam. Reading some of these cases, yeah, made me want to vomit, fam. But I'll just see you guys later, yeah. Love.